And hi, everybody. Welcome to Rick Snider's Washington, where you get the whole story. So please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thought I'd pop on schedule night. Just finished filing for yardbarker.com if you want to go over there and look at it. I've also got videos up. So there's other things to do. This is just a pop up. My hardcore may show up. Nobody may show up. We'll see what happens in the next few minutes. If you're watching this on replay, thank you very much. You'll probably see it in the morning or overnight or whatever. So let's see if anybody comes into the room, and I'll take a moment while I'm catching my breath. All right, somebody out there cares. Who's out there? We can talk about all of this logistics. Let's see, just some basic things. 5 primetime games, 8 nationally televised games. There's the Madrid game on November 16th. I might be going to that. We'll see. Are you guys coming? A Dallas 1 p.m. game at Northwest Stadium. I won't be at that one. I do not work Christmas. There are no 1 o'clock starts for 8 straight weeks in October and November. Can't ever remember that happening. 3 times will they have consecutive road games. 5 of those are kind of late games that they'll be getting back, 5 a.m. at the park. Which kills your Monday. They finished with 4 NFC East games, including 2 against Philly on this week 16 and 18, and no times on those yet. So they may flex those tonight too. And that's it. That's the heavy notes on that. Nobody coming, huh? I know, you don't expect me. I'm just all alone. I look sunburned as all on the screen too. I'm not, but yeah, I look like I've been torched. Huh? Well, okay. What can I tell you? So who's here? Hit the chat for me so I know if Steve showed up or Todd or any of you guys. We just I'll give it I'm not going to stay on real long. I'm not doing an hour tonight. Just thought I'd hit some questions if anybody has them. And if you're too busy watching Farmer Wants a Wife or whatever, I understand. Or whoever, whatever on. No, 2 people on. Okay. Well, you two, you get first shot at the chat. Hit it. Been a busy day. But, the schedule's a tough one. Man, this thing is I don't want to say it's a ball buster, but it's pretty tough. You're going to open up against the Giants. Okay, that one you should win. They got a Thursday game against Green Bay. Let me say the preseason games in case you didn't see it. Oh, they got the dates up now too. New England is August 8th for the preseason opener, 7:30 game, of course. And then the Bengals game will be 8 o'clock at Northwest on August 18th. And they got a Baltimore game after that, which is not on my sheet. So much for that. All right, bummer. What happened there? If anybody has that, let me know. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have that one up yet. Okay. So New York, I think they win. Green Bay, Thursday at Green Bay. I'm going to go win on that, just as a feel. I know everybody says it's too early to pick games. What else we got to do? Although if you're going to the Preakness this week, my triple is 243, which is journalism over Heart of Honor. I really like that horse. He's going to get 15-1. And American Promise to bounce back from a bad Derby race. So 243 for betting the triple on the Preakness on Saturday. Okay, so let's see. Las Vegas, I think they win that. So that's 3-0. Ooh, we're going prime time. All right, at Atlanta, for some reason I just wrote down loss. And then at Los Angeles Chargers, I think they're going to be ticked off to go out there and win. Then they beat Chicago. Then they're at Dallas, we'll go a loss. At Kansas City, loss. Beat Seattle, lose to Detroit. So 3 out of 4, kind of like last year, middle of the season. Then at Madrid against Miami, I think they win that game. I think they beat Denver. Lose at Minnesota, beat the Giants again. Philly, they lose the first one. Then they come back and beat Dallas on Christmas Day because that would just be awful if they lost on Christmas. And then they finish at Philly with a win. That's 11-6. Yeah, it's a daunting schedule, man. There's really not at this point. The Giants games maybe are your easiest games, and usually that's the ones they lose. Weird stuff. Craven says, "Hey, enjoy my sleep. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of late nights, man. I get to bed like 2 a.m. For these night games, and I don't travel anymore. But there's three of them at Northwest. So there's only 8 regular season games this year at Northwest Stadium because it's the NFC's turn and this stupid 17 game unbalanced schedule. They'll have have 2 preseason games at home, that no one cares about, and then just 8 regular. And then the road game, Madrid is a road game. That's Miami's game. So there, Todd, glad you made it. See, we'll have to tell Steve he missed us. I didn't know if I could do this. I didn't know if I'd be done in a reasonable hour, but I figured it out and managed to type fast. So that's why I had a few minutes just to talk if anybody's got schedule questions or whatever they want to talk about. I was looking at the notes. Let's see if we have those yet. Wow, they got 8 national pre-televised games. That's 5 more than last year. They have 10 non-1 o'clock games, the most since 01. Playing 7 non-divisional opponents with 10 plus wins. Plus, Okay, so we have that. That's pretty rough. Washington is 20-16 at home in week 1. All right. So there you go. Nothing great. Anybody here planning to go to Madrid? Let's wonder about it. That's a 9:30 game in the East time zone. So at least you can go and you're done 12:30 and you're free to go watch the 1 and 4 o'clock games and 7 o'clock games. That'd be a four gamer that day for you. Craven figures a lot of calls going the way. Well, last year Washington won 5 games on the last play, man. That's a lot of games to win on your last play. I don't know if you get that kind of luck this year. Todd, what's going on with the Caps? Carolina kicking their butts. Yeah. I don't see them beating the Hurricanes. They always have a hard time matching up with the Hurricanes. I don't know why. It would have been better if they played Florida maybe or something, but that NHL does that reseeding in the playoffs thing. And that hurt the Caps. They probably would have beaten Florida, gone to the conference finals, and that would have been respectable after having the best record all season. Ovi hasn't done a whole lot from what I've seen. But, Ovi's getting near the end here. So it's time for somebody else to really take it up, and which they did this season. But that the Nationals too, brutal, man. The bullpen's killing them. So Nats aren't exactly showing us any love. The defenders, I don't care. I know they're doing okay, but I don't care about spring football. If we all cared about spring football so much, we wouldn't have a big to-do over this schedule release. I mean, to me, the schedule release was a nothing burger. And then now, it's on TV and they leak games in the early days. And then during today, they leak games to their people. And, here's one. It's like they're throwing candy at you, to catch. And we're all going, that kind of thing. Don't do a meme of that. And, I don't quite see it as why it's everybody goes nuts. But, hey, it's news. It's something to look at. And you can plan your fall. I do every year. I'll go, tell my wife, here's the ones. I mean, we actually have some Sundays off this year when you think about it, because they have 2 Mondays, 2 Sunday nights, so you're free during the day. You got a Sunday morning game, so there's 5. You got 2 Thursdays, that's 7. And a Saturday game, so that's 8. So that's 8 Sundays. Man, that's really something when you think about it. I'm going to have to get my calendar book out and look at things. I'm thinking about going to Madrid and maybe also going over to Paris, take the wife and do a little European vacation, since it's our time of life. It's just, I wish it was a little earlier than the middle of November. If you think you want to go to Madrid, they say the temperatures are like a high of 50 or so. That's not bad. It's just, it'd be nice for 70. Well, there won't be any tourists around. I look at the flights, DC to Madrid, $500 round trip that time of year. You can't beat that. So that's pretty good. Getting the tickets will be tough. for fans. I'll say that. That's probably the toughest thing you'll have to do. You probably pay more for that than you will flying around. Let's see. Let's see, any other questions? Todd likes Ryan Leonard. He's the future superstar. That's what they say. I mean, I actually covered the Caps one season about 30 years ago. So I know a little something about hockey, but I don't keep up with it to the point where I can sit here and have a talk show over it. I just kind of watch like anybody else. Nosebleeds in Spain are going for $250 currently, says Craven. That's not too bad, really. Wait till you get to the new stadium here. There'll be $250 in the nosebleeds here too in 5 years. We'll see how it goes. What do you guys think about Christmas Day at Northwest? Are you going to go? I mean, if it's the worst game. It's the 1 o'clock game, which means you got to leave. You know, if you live in the Washington area, you got to leave by 10, which is kind of like, you know, open up Christmas, get that done, and then say see ya. And not a lot of spouses going to be happy about that. If it was a 4 o'clock game, well, you could be home till noon, something like that. But this just burns the day. That's why I don't believe in working Christmas or Easter. So nobody can make me, and I'm not going to. And my wife would kill me anyway if I did. So I'm spending the day. I don't even know if I'll get to see the game during the day. I'll have to tape it and watch it, you know, when all the grandkids go home and all those things. Todd, have you watched the NBA playoffs lately? Not too much, honestly, because Wizards aren't in it. I'm busy, and I've got a new book deal that's really taking up a lot of my time. I'm doing a book on Commanders, and it's going to be out by the season opener. I can announce it more next week when the ink is dry on the deal, but I'm just pretty much it's dry. So they're doing a quickie book. Publisher called me and said, "Can you do this in 5 weeks?" I can do it for the right amount of money, maybe. Yeah, but that's ain't being cheap because it's just going to suck up the next month of my life. So I haven't paid attention to a lot of other things because I'm trying to write this book so you can leaf through it in 5 minutes and say, that's great. So, and my Secrets of Caveman cooking book hopefully will come out in the next week. Kind of waiting on the graphic people to finish up. And then I'll try and beg you to buy it. It'd be a good Father's Day gift. I told people it would be a good Memorial Day gift, but who buys Memorial Day gifts? And that's coming, what is it, like 10, 11 days? Yeah, crazy. So, does anybody here have any, by the way, anybody here have any experience with racing pigeons? I had one perched on my porch. He's up in the ceiling fan, which he loves. He can just sit there and nobody's going to bug him. But dude, you don't pay rent. You got to go. I mean, I could trap him, I guess. I'm kind of waiting to see if he just fly away. But after a few days, he seems like he's cool. So if you got any tips to get rid of him, let me know. I mean, besides a BB gun, that kind of thing. I would rather not hurt the poor thing. He's just confused. I was like, if you're a racing pigeon, dude, you're not doing very well because this ain't the finish line. Kind of strange. My garden's in. Corn's coming up already. We've had some good rain this spring already. My corn's doing great. My sunflowers, my onions, and somebody just gave me tomato plants. They had extra, so I planted them. We'll see. Not a big tomato guy. Hi, Julio. Thank you for coming. Greg, everyone. So you're a Commander season ticket holder, getting real big money offers for my tickets and parking passes. Any update on injured players? No, there's no updates on injured players. I mean, really, the only one you're talking about is Cosme that we know of. And they haven't said anything about it yet. So, we'll hear more about it. OTAs start in about 2 weeks. So we'll know more about injured players then. Until then, anybody going to the Preakness this week? Since not many of you live around here, I guess. It's kind of strange. But if you're going to the Preakness, until you pick journalism over Heart of Honor, over American Primus, which means you go to the window and say, 243, here's $1 million. I'd like it back in ones. Actually, it's going to be a short triple, so I would say might pay $100, for 2 or 3 rather. So You won't get rich, but and you won't send me my 10%. But other than that, done. All right, I'll go a few more minutes because it doesn't look like a whole lot of people expect me or are here. Hit the thumbs up button if you can. At least we'll get something out of this. The algorithm will go, "Ooh, Rick, they like you." Anybody else? Anybody else got a season prediction wins or anything you want to talk about? I mean, for once, the show's not freezing up. Knock on wood. On the internet. Julio, your son's planning a trip to Madrid. Hey, cool. First time season ticket holder. Well, he finally came along at the right time. I'd hate to pay season ticket prices and the team, did they win a game 2 years ago at home? I'm not sure. I think they might have won the first one. That was it. They were awful. I mean, who wants to pay see that? So Julio's got 10-7. That's just a game less than me. I'm 11-6 right now. I'm calling for a win in Green Bay, which I probably am alone in calling for. But maybe that's the difference between us. You're always going to have a win game that you don't expect, and you're going to have a loss that you don't expect easily. All right, Hank's got the same one I do. Yeah, I agree. Going Giants, Philly, Dallas, Philly is your last 4 games. 2 times against Philly. I mean, I know they're thinking, oh boy, these two are going to battle it out for the NFC East. We'll do the big rating games late. Yeah, but dude, you shouldn't have teams. You got 17 games. You shouldn't have a division rival playing twice, in 3 games or whatever. They did that a couple of years ago too. I don't know. I just think it's wrong. What are these teams like in December versus September? It could be totally different, man. Injuries just rip teams apart sometimes. But Washington got better and better as it went, and had a lot of momentum and got all the way to the NFC Championship. I mean, think back now. They were a game away from being in the Super Bowl. Whoa. As part of the NFL can do that, but it was still pretty amazing. They were a game away from the Super Bowl. And Philly was a better team and won. But too bad, because that would have been cool. You don't get a lot of Super Bowl shots in your life. When you get on the brink, try and get in. This year's team MVP will have to be Jaden if it's going to be any good, Trampus. That's what you hope. If you take it away, let's just say we don't count JD3, like he's the automatic guy. So we're not going to talk about him. Who would I think then? Probably Terry. Because he'll still be there 1. And defensively, is there MVP? That's a good question. I asked it, so it should be now. But man, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't see anybody on the line. Sometimes I want to say Wagner, but probably not. So it's going to have to be somebody in the secondary. Samer still? Maybe he's it. Should we name the new stadium Jaden Daniels Field? Well, basically, that's how it's going to work. He's the guy that's going to help build that stadium. Luvu, that's not a bad pick, too. Luvu's a good player. Todd, will you tell us about the new Commanders book you were talking about? Well, okay, so it's Triumph Publishing, who I've worked with twice before, came to me and said, we'd like you to write a book about this particular player. And, he's it. We're going to do a lot of photos. You don't have to write off, your traditional 70 to 100,000 words. It'll be less, but because they'll be looking at all the photos. You just keep them distracted between pages. So it'll be out late August, I hear. It'll be in the bookstores. It'll be on Amazon. And I'll be sitting here going, I'll sell it and sign my name to it for you. So usually you can buy from me. I cut you a couple of bucks, do the shipping, and sign them. So, and I get more money that way than I will if you buy it in a bookstore or Amazon. Because those people take all the money. So they seem to feel like just because they invest in the book, they get all the money. So anyway, that was kind of came out of nowhere. I've got every day now, just grinding. It's going to be about the whole season and a lot of sidebars, relationships, things like that. So be interesting what Jaden does this year. I know Jaden is work. His biggest thing he's worked on in this off season is he's trying to eliminate his tendencies, any tips or tells. So, because trust me here, all the opposing teams have been watching that film and they're figuring that out. And so he needs to, know a counter. That's what Chase Young didn't do. He didn't think he needed to go back and figure out his tell signs and such. And his second year stunk, and he's never really recovered from that. And that's exactly what you need to do, because the other people will figure you out in this league. So you have to, learn to counter that. If they know, they know, then you got to do something else. If I got that many no's, I don't know. Also taped five shows of the 52 Questions for God, which is every Sunday morning. One question, we do them in, today we did them between 2 and 5 minutes. Pastor that I work for, he's really good at talking in sound bites, and getting you ready. So make sure you watch on Sundays. It's kind of a passion project, and we don't make any money on it. We just do it to have fun. Pastor and I have known each other 50 years. So, and told me to go to H anytime lately. So things are going okay. So that's a project we have going on. So lots happening. All right, I'll tell you what, last round, because not many people here tonight. I just thought I'd pop up and see what happens. If you're watching on replay, you can always, this show will rewind as soon as we're done. I've got 22 minutes here, so there's a little something here. If you're watching on replay, you can do it. And I didn't even beg for money tonight, so we'll call this a freebie on there. All right, so I think we're done with questions, or I've frozen, one or the other. Anyway. And I'm not as red as I look on this screen. I don't know why that is. I guess it's the light. Anyway, there you go. Last question. I'm Rick Snider for Rick Snider's Washington. Thanks for coming. Remember, 6 a.m. tomorrow, I'll be picking the schedule and other stuff so you can see it. And we always have something going on. So anyway, I did a pizza review. It's up Thursday night. I did a new pizza review. It was really good. I was surprised. All right, that's it. Julio, thank you for coming too. Todd, thanks for coming. Appreciate everybody here. And I'll see you all guys on Monday night, like usual.